Amanda Martin's hands move through the familiar rhythm of rolling pie dough, the wooden pin pressing flour into submission the way her mother taught her 50 years ago. It's barely past 9 on this July 4th morning, and already the Richmond heat is creeping through the kitchen windows of her modest 2-bedroom ranch house. She's 67 now, and these hands have rolled this dough hundreds of times, for church potlucks, for Paul's birthday every March, for Ella's childhood celebrations. But today feels special. Today she'll see her family for the first time in over a month. The apples are Granny Smith's, sliced paper thin and tossed with cinnamon and brown sugar. Amanda hums as she works, trying not to notice how quiet the house is, how empty it's been since Paul died 2 years ago. The cancer took him quickly, too quickly. One day he was here, filling every room with his terrible jokes and off-key singing. The next, she was a widow learning how to sleep alone. "This is going to be perfect," she whispers to herself, crimping the edges of the crust with practiced precision. The golden lattice top is her signature move, the thing Ella always claimed was her favorite part. Ella, her only child, the center of Amanda's world for 42 years. Amanda pulls the new outfit from its dry cleaning bag, a patriotic red blouse and navy slacks that made her feel confident when she tried them on last week. She's even bought sparklers for Madison and Connor, remembering how Ella used to dance with them in this very backyard, her 10-year-old face lit up with wonder. The pie slides into the oven at 10:15 a.m. By 1:30 p.m., it's cooled and packed into the covered carrier, nestled beside a bottle of wine she's been saving for a special occasion. Amanda checks her reflection one more time. Hair neat, makeup light, smile hopeful. She doesn't know it yet, but this is the last morning she'll wake up as the woman who waits patiently for crumbs of her daughter's attention. Everything is about to change. The drive to Ella's house takes 25 minutes through tree-lined suburban streets, dressed in red, white, and blue. Children run through sprinklers while parents stand around grills, beers in hand, flags snapping in the humid breeze. It's picture-perfect Americana, and Amanda feels grateful to be part of it. Ella's neighborhood in the West End is particularly festive. Every colonial mansion seems to be hosting a party, cars lining both sides of the street. Amanda parks 3 blocks away, which means carrying the pie in the heat, but she doesn't mind. Nothing can dampen her spirits today. As she approaches the house, she hears it. Classic rock mixing with children's laughter and adult conversation. Through the tall wooden fence surrounding the backyard, she catches glimpses of red and blue decorations hanging from trees, smoke rising from Hunter's expensive new grill. Amanda climbs the front porch steps, adjusting her grip on the pie carrier and smoothing her blouse. The front door is closed, which is unusual for one of their parties, but she figures they're keeping the air conditioning in. She rings the doorbell and waits, listening to the muffled sounds of celebration coming from behind the house. After a minute, she hears footsteps approaching. The lock clicks. The door opens to reveal Ella looking absolutely stunning in a white sundress with red accessories, her blonde hair perfectly styled despite the heat. She looks like she stepped out of a Southern Living magazine spread about perfect suburban entertaining. But the moment their eyes meet, Ella's face changes. The easy smile vanishes, replaced by something harder, colder. "Mom," Ella says, her voice carefully controlled. "What are you doing here?" The question hits Amanda like a physical blow. She actually takes a step backward, nearly losing her grip on the pie. "What do you mean?" Amanda manages, forcing a laugh that sounds shaky even to her own ears. "I'm here for the barbecue. We talked about this. I brought my apple pie." Ella's jaw tightens. She steps outside and pulls the door closed behind her, as if she doesn't want whoever's inside to hear their conversation. The July heat immediately envelops them both, but Amanda feels cold. "Mom, I think there's been a misunderstanding," Ella says, not meeting her eyes. "This year's party is different. It's smaller, more intimate." "Smaller?" Amanda repeats, confused. Through the windows, she can see the house is full of people. "Ella, I don't understand. You invited me. You texted me 3 weeks ago." "No." Ella's voice is flat, matter of fact. I didn't invite you. I invited Hunter's mother. She's been having a hard time since the divorce, and we wanted to make this special for her. Hunter's mother, Diane Wells. A woman who's looked at Amanda like she's something stuck to the bottom of her shoe since the day Hunter and Ella got engaged. A woman who's never hidden her belief that her son married beneath him. But you said I could come, Amanda stammers. You said same time as always. You asked me to bring the pie. Ella's expression doesn't soften. If anything, it hardens further. I think you misunderstood. I was asking if you were going to your own family gathering, not inviting you to ours. The words hang in the air between them like a slap. Amanda stares at her daughter, this woman she carried for 9 months, raised for 18 years, supported through college, celebrated through her wedding, comforted through difficult times, and she doesn't recognize her. Ella, Amanda says quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. This is our tradition. For 5 years I've been coming to your 4th of July party. I've never missed one. Well, traditions change. Ella crosses her arms. People grow. Families evolve. I'm sure you understand. Behind Ella, through the frosted glass of the front door, Amanda can see shadows moving. Someone laughs loudly. A woman's voice Amanda recognizes as Diane's, her replacement. I don't understand, Amanda says, and she hates how small her voice sounds. What did I do? What happened? For just a moment, something flickers across Ella's face. Guilt maybe, or uncertainty, but it's gone as quickly as it appeared. Nothing happened, Mom. This isn't about you. It's just, we're doing things differently this year. Tyler's mother is going through a divorce. She needs family support right now. And I'm not family? The words come out sharper than Amanda intended, but she's past caring about keeping the peace. Ella's eyes flash. Of course you're family. But Diane is Hunter's mother, and Hunter is my husband. His family comes first now. The casual cruelty of that statement, delivered so matter-of-factly as if it were the most natural thing in the world, takes Amanda's breath away. Mom, you're not welcome here, Ella says, and her voice is gentle now, which somehow makes it worse. I only invited my mother-in-law. I think it would be best if you left. The words echo in Amanda's head. You're not welcome here. I only invited my mother-in-law. Amanda stands there for a moment longer, looking at her daughter, waiting for her to take it back, to smile and say she was joking, to invite her in and tell her she's missed her. But Ella just stands there, arms crossed, waiting for Amanda to leave. I made your favorite pie, Amanda says stupidly, holding up the carrier. I'm sure it's lovely, Ella replies, but she makes no move to take it. Maybe you can enjoy it at home. At home, alone, in her quiet house with no laughter, no children, no family. Just Amanda and a pie made for people who don't want her. Amanda turns without another word and walks back down the porch steps. Behind her, she hears the front door open and close, the lock clicking into place. By the time she reaches the sidewalk, the sounds of the party have resumed. Music, laughter, voices blending together in celebration. Her absence hasn't even created a ripple. She walks the 3 blocks back to her car in a daze, clutching the pie carrier and feeling the weight of every step. Other families wave from their driveways, assuming she's heading to her own celebration. She waves back automatically, her face arranged in what she hopes passes for a normal expression. It isn't until she's sitting in her car, the engine running and the air conditioning blasting, that she allows herself to really absorb what just happened. Her daughter, her only child, the center of her world for 42 years, has just told her she's not welcome in her home. She chose her mother-in-law over her, chose a woman who has never shown Amanda anything but disdain. Amanda sits there for a long time, staring at the pie on her passenger seat. Through her windshield, she can see other families enjoying their celebrations, and she feels like she's looking at them through glass, separated from a world she no longer belongs to. The memories flood in unbidden. Ella as a baby, sleeping on Amanda's chest. Ella at 5, learning to ride a bike in their driveway while Paul held the seat steady. Ella at 16, crying over her first heartbreak while Amanda held her and promised it would get better. Ella in her wedding dress, hugging Amanda tight and whispering, "Thank you for everything, Mom. I love you so much." Where did that girl go? When did she become someone who could stand on her porch and tell her own mother she wasn't welcome? Amanda doesn't remember driving home. One moment she's sitting outside Ella's neighborhood, and the next she's in her own driveway, the engine off and the silence deafening. Her house feels smaller when she walks in, more cramped and dim compared to Ella's spacious, perfectly decorated colonial. The contrast isn't lost on her. It never is when she visits Ella. But for the first time, instead of feeling inadequate about her modest 2-bedroom ranch, she feels angry. She bought this house 35 years ago with Paul, back when Ella was 7. They scrimped and saved for the down payment, chose this neighborhood because it had good schools and safe streets where children could play. They painted every room themselves, installed the hardwood floors on weekends, planted the garden that still blooms every spring. This house had been filled with love, birthday parties and Christmas mornings, homework sessions at the kitchen table, and bedtime stories read in the cozy bedrooms. Ella took her first steps on these floors, learned to ride a bike in this driveway, brought her prom date to this living room for pictures. Now Ella looks at it like it's beneath her, as if the life Paul and Amanda built here isn't sophisticated enough for her new world of granite countertops and designer furniture. Amanda sets the pie on her kitchen counter and stares at it. What is she supposed to do with a pie made for 8 people when she's eating alone? She's still standing there when her phone buzzes. A text message from Ella. "Mom, I hope you understand this wasn't personal. Maybe we can have lunch next week?" Lunch next week. As if she can erase the humiliation, the rejection, the casual cruelty of what just happened with an offer to meet at some restaurant where Ella can check her phone and cut the visit short when it becomes inconvenient. Amanda stares at the message for a long time. The old Amanda would have responded immediately, would have thanked her for the olive branch, would have pretended everything was fine, would have swallowed her hurt and tried to repair a relationship that was apparently only valuable when it was convenient for Ella. But something shifts in Amanda during that drive home. Maybe it's the weight of 2 years of loneliness since Paul's death. Maybe it's the accumulation of a dozen small slights and dismissals she's ignored in favor of keeping peace. Or maybe it's simply the shock of being told in broad daylight and with perfect clarity that she's not wanted by the person she loves most in the world. Amanda turns off her phone without responding. That night, Amanda sits at her dining room table with a slice of apple pie and a cup of coffee, and she thinks about her life. Really thinks about it, perhaps for the first time in years. She's 67 years old. She was married to a wonderful man for 38 years before losing him to cancer. She raised a daughter she thought loved and respected her. She worked as a nurse for 40 years, helping hundreds of patients and their families through their darkest moments. She's been a good wife, a good mother, a good person. So why does she feel so disposable? The answer comes to her slowly, like pieces of a puzzle clicking into place. She feels disposable because she's allowed herself to become disposable. She's spent so many years putting everyone else's needs first that she's forgotten she has needs too. She's been so eager to avoid conflict, so determined to be the easy mother, the low-maintenance mother-in-law, that she's taught her family they can treat her however they want, without consequences. Amanda pulls out a yellow notepad and starts making a list. When did things start to change? After Paul died, she'd been supportive at first, called regularly, included me in family events. But as time passed and I started to heal, her attention shifted back to her own life. Calls became shorter, less frequent. Invitations came with caveats. If you're feeling up to it, or no pressure if you can't make it. She stopped asking for my advice, stopped including me in important decisions, started talking more about Diane. Hunter's mom suggested this. Diane knows a great place for that. We're having dinner with Diane. Amanda had interpreted this as Ella being sensitive to her grief, but now she wonders if it was something else entirely. Had Ella grown tired of dealing with her sadness? Had she found it easier to focus on Hunter's family, all alive and present and able to contribute to her social status in ways Amanda couldn't? Diane is a force of nature, a wealthy widow who travels extensively, wears designer clothes, has the kind of sophisticated social connections that open doors in Hunter's business world. She can afford expensive gifts for the grandchildren, can host elaborate dinner parties, can be an asset to Ella's carefully curated image of success. What can Amanda offer that compares? A modest pension, homemade pies, stories about the old days that probably bore them. The realization is painful but clarifying. She's allowed herself to become someone who could be easily replaced because she brings nothing unique or valuable to their lives anymore. She's just the mother, expected to be grateful for whatever scraps of attention they throw her way. Amanda sits back in her chair, looking at her list. Well, she thinks, maybe it's time to change that. She walks to Paul's old desk and pulls out the legal documents from his estate planning, yellowed now, but still valid. She Googles estate planning attorney Richmond, VA, and makes a note of the top-rated firm. Then she Googles something else. Elder abandonment statistics. The results are staggering. Thousands of elderly women find themselves isolated, discarded by children who've grown too busy, too important, or too focused on their own families to maintain relationships with their aging parents. Many suffer in silence, too proud or too ashamed to admit that their own children don't want them around. Amanda reads article after article, each one a variation on her own story. Mothers uninvited from holidays, grandmothers replaced by more convenient alternatives, women who gave everything to their children only to be discarded when they became inconvenient. What if there was a place they could turn? What if there were resources available to help them rebuild their lives, find new communities, discover new purposes? What if they didn't have to suffer in silence? Amanda looks at the clock. It's nearly midnight, but she's not tired. For the first time in 2 years, she feels something she hasn't experienced since Paul died. She feels purpose. 3 days later, Amanda sits across from James Morrison in his downtown law office. He's about her age, with kind eyes and a no-nonsense approach she's always appreciated. He handled Paul's will and estate planning, and she trusts him implicitly. "Amanda," he says warmly, rising from behind his mahogany desk to greet her. "I haven't seen you since we finalized Paul's estate. How are you holding up?" "Better than fine, actually, James. I need to make some changes to my will." His eyebrows rise slightly. "Of course. What kind of changes are we talking about?" Amanda sits down and folds her hands in her lap. "I need to understand exactly what I have, and I need to understand my options for leaving it to someone other than Ella." James's expression grows serious. He closes his office door and returns to his seat. "Amanda, that's a significant decision. Has something happened?" "You could say that." She tells him the story of July 4th. When she finishes, James leans back in his chair, his face grave. "I'm sorry that happened to you," he says simply. "That must have been devastating." "It was enlightening," Amanda corrects. "And now I need to know where I stand financially." They spend the next hour going through her assets. What Amanda learns surprises her. Between Paul's life insurance, his pension, her own retirement savings, and the house that's appreciated considerably over the years, she's worth significantly more than she realized. Just over $1.2 million. "Does Ella know about this?" James asks. "She knows there's an inheritance coming, but we've never discussed specifics. I think she assumes it's mostly just the house and a small savings account." James nods thoughtfully. "And currently, everything goes to her. She's your only child, your only heir." "But James," Amanda meets his eyes directly, "I don't want someone who doesn't value me to benefit from my death. I want to leave my money to people and causes that matter, to make sure my legacy means something." "I understand. But Amanda, this is a big decision. Maybe you should give it some time. See if the situation with Ella improves." "No," Amanda says firmly. "I've given enough time to trying to maintain a relationship that only exists when it's convenient for her. I'm done begging for scraps of affection from my own daughter." James studies her for a moment. "What did you have in mind?" Amanda takes a deep breath. "I want to set up a charitable foundation, Something that will help other women who've been discarded by their families. Or maybe something for elderly people who've been abandoned. I want to make sure the money goes to people who will use it to help others, not to buy bigger houses and more expensive cars. That's very generous, Amanda. And what about Ella? Amanda has thought about this carefully. Leave her something small, maybe $10,000. Enough that she can't contest the will for being left out entirely, but not enough to matter to someone with her lifestyle. James makes notes, then looks up at her again. Are you sure about this? Once I draw up these documents. I'm sure, Amanda says. More sure than she's been about anything in a long time. My daughter thought she could discard me without consequences. She thought I would continue to be the grateful, needy mother who's thankful for whatever attention she chooses to give. She thought I would swallow this latest humiliation like I've swallowed all the others. Amanda stands, gathering her purse. She was wrong. As she drives home from the lawyer's office, Amanda feels something she hasn't experienced in years. Not the petty kind of power that comes from being cruel or manipulative, but the deep, satisfying power that comes from taking control of your own life. Ella thought she could discard her without consequences, that Amanda would eventually come crawling back, apologizing for some imaginary offense, begging to be included again. But Amanda is done being discarded, done waiting for someone else to decide her worth, done teaching her daughter that love without respect is acceptable. The Forgotten Mother's Foundation will be her legacy. Not anger, not bitterness, but something beautiful built from heartbreak. Something that will help hundreds of women long after Amanda is gone. And Ella? Ella will inherit exactly what she's earned. $10,000 and the knowledge that she threw away something priceless for the sake of social convenience. Amanda parks in her driveway and looks at her modest house, the one Ella finds so inadequate. But this house is paid for. This house is hers. This house is filled with memories of real love, not the performative kind that exists only when witnessed by the right people. She walks inside and begins researching nonprofit organizations, charitable foundations, and elder advocacy groups. If she's going to give away $1.2 million, she wants to make sure it goes to the right places. She's just getting started. 3 weeks pass without Amanda answering a single call. Her phone logs tell the story. Ella calls 6 times, Hunter twice, even Diane once. The text messages escalate from "hope you're okay" to "mom, please call us back" to "we're worried, just let us know you're alive." Amanda responds just enough to prove she hasn't died. "I'm fine, busy with projects. We'll be in touch." She doesn't tell them what she's busy with. During those weeks, Amanda transforms. She researches elder abandonment until her eyes burn. The statistics are staggering. Nearly 1 in 3 elderly Americans experiences family estrangement. She reads stories that mirror her own. Mothers uninvited from holidays, grandmothers replaced by more convenient alternatives, elderly women spending celebrations alone while their children choose more important family members. Amanda contacts nonprofit consultants, reaches out to elder advocacy groups, and begins planning. She has lunch with Carol Fletcher, her old friend from the hospital. "I can't believe Ella did that," Carol says, shocked. "It was clarifying," Amanda replies. "I've spent 2 years waiting for my daughter to need me. Now I'm going to help mothers who are waiting for children who will never come back." She also takes care of herself, buys those expensive sheets, treats herself to nice dinners, gets professional haircuts. Most importantly, she meets with James Morrison twice more to finalize the foundation's legal structure. The calls from Ella keep coming. Amanda doesn't answer. On day 21, Amanda is comparing coffee prices when she hears Ella's voice behind her. "Mom, what the hell is going on?" Amanda turns calmly. Ella looks exhausted, dark circles under her eyes. "Hello, Ella. How are you?" "How am I?" Ella's voice rises. "I've been worried sick. You disappeared. You won't return calls. What is wrong with you?" "Nothing's wrong. I've been busy." "Busy doing what?" "You're retired." The dismissive tone confirms everything Amanda has been thinking. "I'm starting a foundation," Amanda says. The Forgotten Mothers Foundation. Support for elderly women abandoned by their families. Ella blinks. That's nice, Mom, but what does it have to do with ignoring us? Tell me, Ella, when's the last time you called just to talk? Not to ask for something, but just to see how I was doing? We talk all the time. When's the last time you invited me somewhere without me asking? When's the last time you chose me over someone else's comfort? Around them, shoppers are staring. Amanda doesn't care. This is about July 4th, isn't it? I told you that wasn't personal. Wasn't it? Diane needed what exactly? To take my place at my family celebration? To be grandmother to my grandchildren while I sat home alone? She's going through a divorce. And what about what I needed? Amanda's voice grows stronger. I've been a widow for 2 years. I'm your mother, not some distant relative you discard when someone more interesting comes along. Ella's face flushes. You're being dramatic. It was one party. No, Ella, it was a pattern. The culmination of 2 years of you pushing me out of your life. Proof that I'm only valuable when I'm useful. Amanda starts to leave, but Ella grabs her arm. Wait, can we please talk about this? Amanda looks at Ella's hand, then her face. For a moment, she sees the little girl who crawled into bed during thunderstorms. But then she remembers standing on that porch, being told she wasn't welcome. I don't think there's anything to talk about. You made your choice clear. But I love you. Do you? Or do you love having a mother who makes you feel good without requiring real effort? I don't think you love me, Ella. And the moment I needed something, basic respect, you chose someone else. Amanda walks away without looking back. 6 weeks later, Hunter calls. Emily, Ella's birthday party is Saturday. I wanted to personally invite you. Amanda almost smiles, so Ella hasn't invited her directly. I'll think about it. She does think about it. The old Amanda would stay home, nursing her hurt. But the new Amanda sees an opportunity. Ella has been telling friends they have a close relationship. What if that image cracked publicly? Amanda decides to attend, but on her terms. She buys an elegant navy dress, gets professional hair and makeup, and prints foundation business cards and flyers. Saturday evening she arrives at 7:30 p.m. Cars line the street. Laughter floats from the backyard, but this time she's not carrying homemade pie and hope. She's carrying the tools to build her future. Hunter answers the door, his face cycling through surprise and panic. Emily, you came. I hope I'm not interrupting. The party is exactly as expected. 30 people, mostly colleagues and associates. When Amanda steps onto the patio, Ella sees her and goes white. Amanda walks directly over. Ella, happy birthday, sweetheart. Mom, I didn't know you were coming. I wouldn't miss my daughter's birthday. Amanda embraces her stiffly. A blonde woman steps forward. I'm Sarah Henderson, Ella's colleague. We've heard so much about you. Ella talks about you all the time. You two must be very close. Amanda glances at Ella's pale face. We talk regularly. And you're starting charity work? Another woman asks. Yes, the Forgotten Mothers Foundation. We support elderly women abandoned or neglected by their families. Silence falls. Amanda sees them processing. Ella's claims of closeness versus an organization for abandoned mothers. What inspired that focus? Sarah asks carefully. Personal experience, Amanda says simply. Too many older women are discarded by children who are too busy or focused on their own lives to maintain relationships. They exclude parents from gatherings, stop including them in decisions, gradually push them out entirely. That's terrible, someone says. Who would do that? You'd be surprised. Take holidays. It's common for adult children to stop inviting elderly parents, sometimes preferring in-laws instead. The implications are clear. Ella's friends look between them, understanding dawning. Ladies, Ella says abruptly, let me show you the kitchen renovations. As the group moves away, Ella grabs Amanda's arm. What the hell are you doing? Socializing at my daughter's birthday party. Isn't this what you wanted? You're making me look like a monster. I'm sharing information about my foundation. If that makes you uncomfortable, ask yourself why. Amanda works the room, naturally mentioning the foundation in each conversation. David Morgan, a man in his 50s, approaches. Mrs. Martin, I work with Hunter. My mother-in-law is experiencing family estrangement. Could your foundation help? Absolutely. What's her situation? Her daughter cut her off after she remarried. They don't approve, so they stopped including her in events. Unfortunately common. Amanda hands him a card. We have support groups and counseling resources. Was this really inspired by your experience with Ella? He asks quietly. The foundation was inspired by realizing too many women suffer in silence when families abandon them. Some adult children simply choose convenience over their parents' well-being. David nods, understanding perfectly. Diane Fletcher approaches with wine and a practiced smile. Amanda, what a surprise. Hello, Diane. Adjusting well to single life? Wonderfully. Ella and Hunter have been so supportive. How comforting to have family who value you, Amanda says evenly. I was telling guests about my foundation for abandoned elderly women. Daughters who stop including mothers in events, who choose others' comfort over their parents' feelings. Diane's smile falters. Hunter appears. Emily, could we talk privately? In a quiet corner, he asks bluntly, What's your endgame? Are you trying to humiliate Ella? I'm simply attending my daughter's party and sharing my work. If that makes Ella uncomfortable, maybe she should examine why. People are putting two and two together, that Ella treated you badly, that she's exactly the kind of daughter your foundation addresses. Well, Amanda says calmly, if the shoe fits. Ella realizes she made mistakes. She wants to fix things. What Ella did wasn't mistakes, Hunter. It was deliberate choices revealing her true feelings. Now those choices have social consequences. Amanda rejoins the party for another hour. Several people ask for cards, genuinely interested in supporting the cause. As she leaves, Ella corners her. Are you satisfied? You've ruined my party. I've done nothing but share truth. If that made you look terrible, you already were terrible. I just helped people see it. Ella's composure cracks. What do you want from me? I want you to understand what you did. That you abandoned your mother not from necessity, but from convenience and social climbing. So what now? Are we done? Amanda looks at her daughter and feels something settle in her chest. This relationship was over when you told me I wasn't welcome. Everything since has been me learning to accept that reality. She walks away, leaving Ella standing in her doorway. The next morning, Sarah Henderson calls. Emily, I've been thinking, is Ella really why you started the foundation? It was inspired by personal experiences, yes. I had no idea. Ella talks like you're so close, but I've never actually seen you at any of their events. Did she mention uninviting me from July 4th? Said there wasn't room for both grandmothers at a backyard barbecue. The silence speaks volumes. That afternoon, a courier delivers an envelope. Inside is a 3-page handwritten letter from Ella. Mom, I've been getting texts all morning, people asking questions. I don't know what to tell them because I'm finally seeing what I've done. The daughter in your foundation stories. That's me, isn't it? I chose Diane because she was more useful. Better connections, expensive gifts, makes us look good. I took you for granted because I knew you'd always love me. I kept saying it wasn't personal, but it was. I chose her because it was easier, because you'd always be there whenever I decided to make time. I read every article about your foundation. I saw myself in every story. The daughter who stops calling, makes excuses, chooses convenience over love. I'm not asking forgiveness. I just want you to know I finally understand. And I'm so sorry. Amanda sets the letter down and stares at it, understanding and remorse, more than Ella has shown in months. But is it enough? Is it genuine, or just guilt over social consequences? Amanda folds the letter and puts it in her drawer. She doesn't respond. Words are easy. Actions matter. If Ella wants to make amends, she'll need to show it through more than a letter. Over the next 3 months, Amanda builds the foundation. She rents office space, hires Margaret Foster as coordinator, establishes 3 programs. emergency financial assistance, support groups, and legal advocacy. The first support group meeting draws 12 women. Dorothy speaks first. My daughters cut me off when I remarried. 2 years since I've seen my grandchildren. Helen, 68, goes next. My son forgot about me. Calls twice a year. Last Thanksgiving I ate alone while he posted photos of his wife's family gathering. By the end, there isn't a dry eye. But there's also relief. These women aren't alone anymore. I thought something was wrong with me, Dorothy says. But hearing everyone, we're all good women who loved our children. They made the choice to leave. The foundation grows steadily. A newspaper runs a feature. Retired nurse tackles elder abandonment. The article mentions Amanda's personal inspiration without naming Ella, but anyone who knows them can read between the lines. The phone rings constantly. More women need help. More donors contribute. And Amanda watches as social pressure mounts on Ella. Then on a Tuesday in November, 3 months after the birthday party, Margaret knocks on Amanda's office door. Someone's here to see you. Ella stands in the doorway wearing jeans and a simple sweater. No designer outfit. She looks nervous, vulnerable. Hi, Mom. Ella, what can I do for you? I want to volunteer. Amanda sits back, studying her daughter. Why? Because I need to understand what I did. I've read every article about the foundation. I've seen myself in the villain role. Just feeling guilty isn't enough. I need to help fix the problem I contributed to. You'll work with women whose stories mirror mine. You'll hear about daughters exactly like you. I know. That's why I need to do this. You'll start with basics. Envelope stuffing, phone calls, data entry, unglamorous work. Whatever you need. You'll attend support groups as an observer. You'll hear difficult stories. Amanda leans forward. And the moment I think you're doing this for show, you're out. This foundation is too important to be anyone's PR project. I know. I'm here because I need to be. Not for my reputation. For me. Amanda considers this, torn between protection and hope. Finally, Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, 2 to 5, don't be late. Ella's face floods with relief. Thank you. I won't let you down. You already did, Ella. The question is whether you can build me back up. For 2 weeks, Ella shows up on time, works quietly, doesn't complain. In week 3, Amanda invites her to observe a support group. Ella sits in back as women share stories. When Patricia describes being told she wasn't welcome at Christmas, Ella's face crumples. She leaves in tears, later texting, I had no idea how common this is, how much pain I caused. By week 5, Ella takes on more responsibility, helps Helen with legal paperwork, drives Dorothy to appointments, creates better donation tracking systems. Amanda starts thinking maybe this is real. Then week 6 arrives. Tuesday, Ella is 30 minutes late, flustered and apologetic. Thursday, she doesn't show up at all. Amanda stares at the empty desk, feeling familiar disappointment. See? Can't commit. Just like always. Should I call her? Margaret asks. No. She made her choice. But Friday morning, Amanda finds Ella sitting on the office steps, exhausted, still in yesterday's clothes. Mom, I'm so sorry. Connor had emergency surgery. Ruptured appendix. We were at the hospital 18 hours. I texted Margaret but forgot you, and I should have. I know I should have, but I was so scared. Ella's crying. I came straight from the hospital to apologize. I know this looks bad, but I swear I'm trying. I'm really trying. Amanda stares at her daughter. Ella had every excuse to skip today. Exhaustion, worry, needing to be home. But she came here to apologize, to show up, even when it's hard. Is Connor okay? He's fine, home with Hunter, but I needed you to know I didn't just bail, that this matters. Amanda touches Ella's shoulder. Go home, rest, be with your family. Come back Tuesday. I'll be here. And on Tuesday, she is. December brings the Foundation's first fundraising gala. For 6 weeks, Ella has been deeply involved, coordinating vendors, designing invitations, securing auction items. She hasn't missed a day. The night arrives. 200 people fill the hotel ballroom, officials, donors, and women the foundation serves. Amanda stands backstage in her navy dress, nervous but ready. She walks onto the stage to warm applause. Thank you for being here. When I started this foundation 18 months ago, I felt invisible, discarded by the person I loved most. I thought my story was unique, my pain deserved. But I discovered thousands of women suffer the same abandonment. She shares statistics, tells success stories, describes their programs. Then she pauses. Tonight I want to talk about redemption, about the possibility that broken relationships can heal when people face their mistakes and commit to doing better. She looks at Ella in the audience. My daughter Ella is here as one of our most dedicated volunteers. 18 months ago, she made choices that hurt me, choices that were why women needed this foundation. But tonight, she's one reason other families might not need it. Because Ella did something brave. She admitted she was wrong. She faced uncomfortable truths. And she put in real, sustained work to become better. Amanda pauses. Ella, would you come up here? Ella looks shocked but makes her way to the stage. Amanda hands her the microphone. Ella's hands shake. 6 months ago, I was why women needed this foundation. I excluded my mother from celebrations, chose convenience over her feelings, took her for granted. I became the daughter every mother fears. Women in the audience cry. I can't undo the pain, but I can try to be better, help other mothers not suffer like mine did, and tell other adult children, if you're treating your parents like burdens, stop before it's too late, before you become the villain in your own mother's story. The room erupts in applause, genuine moved applause. Ella and Amanda embrace, and this time, it's real. The photographers capture the moment of true healing beginning. The foundation raises $85,000. But the real success is in the women who thank Amanda for giving voice to their pain, for changing their lives. And in the way Ella stays by her side all evening, introducing people to her mother with genuine pride. After the gala, Ella drives Amanda home. In the car, she hands Amanda a small wrapped box. Inside is a silver necklace. Chosen family. I know blood makes us related, Ella says, but I choose you every day now, not from obligation or guilt, but because you're amazing and deserve to be valued. Amanda puts it on immediately, feeling the weight like a promise. I have something for you, too. Amanda hands Ella an envelope. Open it at home. Later, Ella calls. Mom, when did you change the will? 2 months ago, after you came to apologize that Friday. That's when I knew your change was real. The revised will splits Amanda's estate. 50% to Ella, 50% to the foundation. Dated 6 weeks before the gala. You forgave me before I asked, Ella whispers. I forgave you when I saw you do the work, even if I never forgave you. That's when I knew it wasn't about guilt. It was about becoming someone better. They talk for another hour, really talk. About Connor's recovery, about Madison's school play, about Hunter's promotion. But also harder things. Grief over Paul, Amanda's loneliness, Ella's fear of not being enough. It's not perfect. They're not perfectly healed, but they're on the path forward. A week later, Amanda writes to Madison, who's been asking questions about why Grandma and Mom had problems. Dear Madison, your mom and I had a difficult time because she made choices that hurt me, and I had to decide whether to accept being treated poorly just to keep peace. I chose not to accept it, but your mom did something brave. She admitted she was wrong and showed it through actions. She worked to be better even when she didn't know if I'd forgive her. That's real strength, Madison. Not pretending you're perfect, but admitting mistakes and doing the work to fix them. I'm proud of your mom for that. Amanda addresses the envelope and walks to the mailbox. As she's heading back inside, Ella's car pulls into the driveway. I made too much chili, Ella says with a small smile. Thought you might like some. It's not scheduled, not planned, just Ella checking in, showing up, choosing her mother on an ordinary Tuesday. "I'd love some. Come in. I just made coffee." As they sit at Amanda's kitchen table sharing chili and talking about nothing in particular, Amanda realizes this is what healing looks like. Not grand gestures, just showing up, every day, even when it's ordinary, especially when it's ordinary. June 2025 arrives with the kind of sticky Virginia heat that makes everything shimmer. Amanda stands in her garden at dawn, deadheading roses before the temperature becomes unbearable, and marvels at how much has changed since that terrible July 4th 2 years ago. She's 69 now, and her life looks nothing like she expected it would at this age. The Forgotten Mothers Foundation has grown beyond anything she imagined. They now serve over 200 women across the Richmond area, with 3 full-time staff members and a roster of dedicated volunteers. The foundation has partnered with the city's Elder Services Department, received state recognition for innovative programming, and become a model other communities want to replicate. But more than the foundation's success, Amanda herself has transformed. She's no longer the woman who measured her worth by her daughter's attention. She's no longer waiting for crumbs of affection, no longer willing to accept less than she deserves. She's built a life of purpose and meaning. She serves on 2 nonprofit boards, mentors younger women starting their own organizations, and speaks at conferences about elder advocacy. She's even started dating. Nothing serious yet, but a widower named Robert from her book club takes her to dinner every other week, and she enjoys his company without feeling desperate or needy. Her relationship with Ella has settled into something neither of them expected. Genuine friendship built on mutual respect rather than obligatory family ties. They talk several times a week, real conversations about books and politics and life, not just logistics and schedules. Amanda joins them for Sunday dinners most weeks, and Ella stops by Amanda's house for impromptu visits, sometimes with the kids and sometimes alone. It's not the relationship they had before, that woman who accepted whatever scraps Ella threw her way. She's gone. But what they've built in her place is stronger, healthier, more honest. Ella is now the foundation's director of outreach, a paid position she's earned through 18 months of dedicated work. She speaks at conferences about family reconciliation, sharing her own story of abandonment and redemption with raw honesty that moves audiences to tears. She's become a powerful advocate for elderly parents, precisely because she was once the kind of daughter they needed protection from. Amanda finishes with the roses and heads inside to shower. Tonight is the Foundation's 2nd annual gala, and she wants to look her best. This year's event is even bigger than the first. 300 expected guests, major corporate sponsors, and a keynote speaker from the National Council on Aging. As she gets ready, Amanda catches sight of the chosen family necklace hanging on her dresser. She wears it most days now, but today she's chosen something else. Her grandmother's pearls. The necklace Ella gave her represents their new relationship, but her grandmother's pearls represent something older, deeper, the legacy of strong women who survived hardship and built something lasting. Tonight isn't just about her and Ella anymore. It's about the movement they've started together. The Grand Hotel's ballroom is transformed into an elegant tribute to maternal love. Instead of the typical nonprofit gala decorations, Ella has designed something more personal. Each table centerpiece contains framed photos submitted by their clients, mothers with their children in happier times. Baby pictures, wedding photos, holiday gatherings. A reminder of what's been lost, but also what can sometimes be reclaimed. Amanda arrives early and walks through the space, reading the small placards beside each photo frame. Dorothy and her 3 daughters, 1985. Helen and her son on his college graduation day. Patricia holding her first grandchild. Each photo represents a story of love and loss, but tonight also represents hope. Margaret Foster finds Amanda near the stage. Everything's ready. The mayor just arrived, and we've already exceeded our fundraising goal of $120,000 and counting. Amanda squeezes her hand. Thank you for everything you do. I couldn't have built this without you. You built something extraordinary, Amanda. Not just a foundation, but a community. You've given hundreds of women their dignity back. Guests begin arriving, and Amanda moves through the crowd with practiced ease. She's comfortable in this role now, the advocate, the founder, the woman who turned her pain into purpose. She stops to greet Sarah Henderson, who's become a major donor and brought several of her colleagues tonight. She chats with David Morgan and his mother-in-law, who now volunteers in the foundation office twice a week. She sees her family at a table near the front. Hunter looking distinguished in his tuxedo, Madison and Connor surprisingly mature in their formal wear, and Ella, stunning in an emerald dress, talking animatedly with Dorothy and Helen. The sight makes Amanda's chest tighten with emotion. 2 years ago, she couldn't have imagined this moment. Her daughter fully integrated into the Foundation's community, genuinely caring about these women and their stories. Robert appears at her elbow with champagne. "You look beautiful tonight." "Thank you for coming," Amanda says warmly. "I wouldn't miss it. What you've built here, it's remarkable, Amanda." The evening progresses with the typical gala programming: dinner, silent auction, testimonials from clients. But when Amanda takes the stage for her keynote address, something shifts in the room. This isn't just another charity event. This is personal, sacred. 2 years ago, Amanda begins, I stood in this same ballroom and told you about starting a foundation from a place of pain. I was a woman who'd been discarded, forgotten, made to feel invisible by the person I loved most. Tonight, I want to tell you what happened next. She pauses, looking at Ella, who's watching with tears already in her eyes. Redemption isn't a single moment. It's not a grand gesture or a tearful apology. Redemption is showing up day after day, even when it's hard, even when you're not sure it will matter, even when the person you've hurt might never forgive you. Amanda shares statistics about the Foundation's impact over the past year. 200 women served, 3 support groups running weekly, 12 families successfully reconciled through mediation services, and countless individual lives transformed. But numbers don't tell the whole story, she continues. The real story is in the women who found community after isolation, the mothers who've rediscovered their worth after abandonment, the families who've learned to rebuild trust after betrayal. She gestures to Ella. My daughter is here tonight, not just as my family member, but as our director of outreach. For those who don't know our story, Ella was the reason I needed this foundation. She made choices that hurt me deeply, choices that frankly were unforgivable by many standards. The room is completely silent. But Ella did something that many adult children never do. She took full responsibility. She didn't make excuses or blame circumstances. She faced the uncomfortable truth about who she'd become, and she committed to being better. Not just saying she'd be better, but proving it through consistent action over many months. Amanda's voice catches slightly. I've learned that forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about acknowledging the harm, witnessing genuine change, and choosing to build something new together. It's about understanding that people can grow if they're willing to do the painful work of self-examination. She looks directly at Ella now. I'm proud of my daughter, not because she never failed me, but because she faced her failure honestly and chose to become someone better. That's the kind of courage I hope we're inspiring in other families. The room erupts in applause. Ella is crying openly, but she's also smiling. That genuine, radiant smile Amanda remembers from her childhood. After the speech, Amanda is surrounded by well-wishers, but she keeps one eye on Ella, who's deep in conversation with a woman Amanda doesn't recognize. Later, Ella brings the woman over. Mom, this is Catherine. Her daughter stopped speaking to her 3 years ago. I told her about our journey, and she wants to know if there's hope for reconciliation. Amanda takes Catherine's hand. There's always hope, but it requires both people willing to do the work. Come to our support group Tuesday evening. Whether your daughter ever comes around or not, we'll help you build a life worth living. Catherine's eyes fill with tears. Thank you. I felt so alone. You're not alone anymore, Amanda says firmly. None of us are. The irony isn't lost on anyone when Ella proposes hosting July 4th at Amanda's house this year. It seems right, Ella says when she brings it up in late June. 2 years ago, you weren't welcome at my house on the 4th. This year, I want to celebrate at yours, if you'll have us. Amanda considers this carefully. Part of her wants to say yes immediately, eager to prove the relationship is healed. But another part, the wiser part, the part that's learned about boundaries and self-respect, needs to ask questions first. Ella, why is this important to you? Ella doesn't hesitate. Because I need to acknowledge what I did in a tangible way. I need to show Madison and Connor that when you hurt someone, you don't just apologize. You bow so you honor them. I need to choose you publicly, in the same way I rejected you publicly 2 years ago. And if I said no, then I'd understand, and I'd hope you'd come to our house instead, where you'd be the guest of honor, not an afterthought. Amanda smiles. Let's do it here. But Ella, I need you to know something. I'm not the same woman I was 2 years ago. I won't be the one doing all the cooking and all the work while everyone else enjoys themselves. If we're having a party here, it's a collaborative effort. Absolutely. Hunter and I will handle the food. Margaret is bringing desserts. Dorothy and Helen asked if they could come too. They want to celebrate with you. This is your day, Mom. We're all just grateful to be included. July 4th arrives hot and humid, but Amanda's backyard is transformed into a celebration of community rather than just family. There are about 20 people. Ella's family, yes, but also Carol, Margaret, Dorothy, Helen, and several other Foundation volunteers and clients. Robert is there too, helping Hunter man the grill. Amanda sits in the shade watching Madison and Connor play with sparklers, the same sparklers she'd bought 2 years ago and never got to share. Dorothy sits beside her, sipping lemonade. This is nice, Dorothy says. You've built a good family here, Amanda. Not just blood, but chosen. That's the best kind, Amanda agrees. Ella appears with a plate of food for Amanda, perfectly assembled without being asked, including all of Amanda's favorites. Eat, Mom. You've been hosting all morning. I've barely done anything. You and Hunter handled everything. That's the point, Ella says, sitting cross-legged on the grass beside Amanda's chair. You've spent your whole life taking care of everyone else. Today, we take care of you. As the afternoon wears on, Amanda finds herself in the kitchen with Ella and Madison, the three of them washing dishes and putting away leftovers. Madison, now 12, asks the question that's been on her mind. Grandma, are you still mad at Mom? Amanda and Ella exchange glances. They've tried to be honest with the kids about what happened without burdening them with adult complexities. I'm not mad anymore, sweetheart, Amanda says carefully. Your mom hurt me badly, and it took a long time to heal, but she did the work to make things right. And now we have a different kind of relationship, one based on honesty and respect. She volunteers at your foundation every week, Madison says, and she talks about you all the time. She tells people she's proud of you. Ella's eyes fill with tears. I am proud of her. She's the strongest woman I know. Amanda wraps an arm around Madison. The important thing to remember is that love isn't just a feeling. It's actions. It's showing up. It's choosing someone, even when it's hard. Your mom has chosen me every day for the past 18 months, and that means everything. Later, as the sun begins to set, Hunter suggests they move to the backyard for the fireworks display visible from Amanda's street. Everyone gathers on blankets and lawn chairs, faces turned upward. But Amanda finds herself watching her family instead of the sky. Connor leaning against his father. Madison sitting between her parents, holding both their hands. Ella's profile illuminated by bursts of colored light, her expression peaceful in a way it wasn't 2 years ago. And around them, the extended family Amanda has built. Dorothy laughing at something Carol said. Helen deep in conversation with Robert. Margaret organizing leftover sparklers for the kids. This is what redemption looks like, Amanda thinks. Not a perfect restoration of what was broken, but the creation of something new and beautiful from the pieces. After the guests leave and the kids are occupied with a movie inside, Ella and Amanda find themselves alone on the back porch, sipping wine in the humid evening air. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you still think about it? About that day when I turned you away? Amanda considers lying, offering easy comfort. But they've built their new relationship on honesty, and she won't compromise that now. Yes. Not every day anymore, but yes. Sometimes I'll be doing something ordinary, baking a pie or driving past your neighborhood, and I'll remember how I felt standing on your porch, how small and worthless you made me feel. Ella flinches but doesn't look away. I'm so sorry. I know you are, and I've forgiven you. But Ella, I need you to understand something important. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean the hurt disappears completely. It means I've chosen not to let that hurt define our relationship anymore. Do you trust me now? Amanda takes a long moment before answering. I trust that you're genuinely trying to be better. I trust that you understand what you did wrong. But complete trust? That will take more time. Trust isn't rebuilt in 18 months. It's rebuilt over years through consistent actions. That's fair, Ella says quietly. I can accept that. And Mom, I want you to know I'm not just doing this to assuage my guilt anymore. At first, maybe I was, but now I genuinely love the work. I love helping these women. I love seeing mothers and daughters find their way back to each other. This has become my purpose too, not just my penance. I can see that. It shows in how you interact with our clients, how invested you are in their stories. They sit in comfortable silence for a moment, listening to cicadas and distant fireworks. Mom, what would you have done if I hadn't changed? If I just kept being the person who rejected you? I would have grieved, Amanda says honestly. But I would have survived. I would have kept building the foundation, kept helping other women, kept creating a life of meaning. I learned something crucial over the past 2 years. I don't need your validation to have value. I don't need anyone's validation. My worth is inherent, not dependent on whether my daughter recognizes it. That's what I admire most about you, Ella says. You didn't just demand change from me. You changed yourself. You stopped being the woman who accepted whatever she was given. You became someone who knows what she deserves and won't settle for less. I had to, for my own survival. But Ella, I hope you teach Madison and Connor this lesson. Teach them that love requires action and respect. Teach them that family isn't an excuse to treat people poorly. Teach them that their worth isn't determined by how much others love them, but by how much they love themselves. I am teaching them that, because I never want them to become what I was, or to accept from others what I gave to you. Amanda reaches over and squeezes Ella's hand. Then something good came from all that pain. That's all we can ask for, really. That our mistakes become lessons, that our failures become fuel for growth. Do you think we'll ever have the easy, comfortable relationship some mothers and daughters have? The kind where they're best friends? Amanda shakes her head gently. No, and I don't think we should. What we have is harder earned and more honest. We have respect, mutual admiration, and genuine care for each other. We have clear boundaries and open communication. That's more valuable than easy comfort built on unexamined dynamics. I love you, Mom. I love you too, Ella. Not the way I used to. Desperately, needily, willing to accept anything just to keep you close. I love you clearly now, with my eyes open, with full knowledge of who you are and what you're capable of. And somehow, that feels more real. The next morning, Amanda wakes early and makes her way to the kitchen. She's planning to bake, not out of obligation or desperation, but because she enjoys it. She's pulling ingredients from the cupboard when she hears footsteps. Ella appears in the doorway, already dressed, hair in a ponytail. I thought you went home last night. We did, but I came back. I wanted to ask if you'd teach me to make your apple pie, the one with Grandma's recipe. Amanda's hands still. Why now? Because Madison asked me last night if I knew how to make it, and I realized I don't. I've eaten your pie 100 times, but I never bothered to learn. I was always too busy, too important, too focused on other things. Ella's voice cracks slightly. I don't want to be too busy anymore, Mom. I don't want to reach 50 and realize I never learned the things that matter. Will you teach me? Amanda feels tears prick her eyes. Of course. Go wash your hands. They work side by side in the morning light, Amanda guiding Ella through each step. The secret is cold butter and a light touch. You want to handle the dough as little as possible. Like relationships, Ella says thoughtfully. Handle them carefully. Don't grip too tight. Exactly. As they work, Madison appears, drawn by the smell of baking and the sound of their voices. Can I learn too? Amanda looks at her granddaughter, 12 years old, perceptive, hungry for connection, and remembers teaching Ella at this same age. The cycle continuing, but different this time. Better this time. Pull up a chair, sweetheart. 3 generations work together, flour dusting their hands and the countertop. Amanda explains each step. Ella asks questions she should have asked years ago, and Madison absorbs it all with the intensity of youth. Understanding something important is being shared. Why do we use Granny Smith apples specifically? Madison asks. Because they hold their shape and don't get mushy, Amanda explains. Your great-great-grandmother discovered that after many failed attempts. She passed the knowledge to my mother, who passed it to me, who passed it to your mother, and now we're passing it to you. So it's not just a recipe, Madison says slowly. It's history. It's legacy, Ella corrects. It's the best parts of our family, preserved and shared. As the pie bakes, filling the house with cinnamon and promise, they sit at the kitchen table. 3 women spanning 3 generations, connected by blood, but also by something deeper. By choice, by effort, by the hard work of building and rebuilding relationships until they're strong enough to last. Amanda looks at her daughter and granddaughter and feels something settle in her chest. Not the desperate love of 2 years ago, always anxious and needy. Not the angry hurt of 18 months ago, defensive and walled off. This is something calmer, wiser, more sustainable. This is peace. Grandma, Madison says, playing with the chosen family necklace Amanda's wearing today. Mom told me you gave her half your inheritance. Why? Amanda glances at Ella, who nods encouragingly. Because your mom proved she understood what matters. She proved she valued me, not for what I could give her, but for who I am. And because I wanted the foundation to continue after I'm gone, to help other mothers who need it. Will the foundation still exist when I'm grown up? If we do our work right, it won't need to, Amanda says. If we teach people, teach children like you, how to value their parents, how to maintain family relationships with respect and care, then maybe future generations won't need an organization to help abandoned mothers. But until then, Ella adds, we keep fighting. We keep telling the truth about what happens when family becomes something you endure rather than treasure. We keep helping women remember their worth. The timer dings. Amanda pulls the pie from the oven, golden brown, perfectly latticed, the result of 70 years of accumulated wisdom passed from mother to mother to mother. It's beautiful, Madison breathes. It is, Amanda agrees. But the real beauty isn't the pie itself. It's this moment, the 3 of us together, creating something that will outlast us all. She cuts 3 slices while the pie is still warm, breaking her own rule about letting it cool first. But some moments are worth bending rules for. They eat standing at the counter, in comfortable silence, tasting not just apples and cinnamon, but legacy and love and hard-won redemption. Outside, the July sun climbs higher. Inside, 3 generations of women learn what Amanda has spent 2 years discovering. That family isn't about blood or obligation or guilt. Family is about choosing each other every single day, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. That evening, after Ella and Madison have gone home, Amanda sits at her desk and pulls out her journal. She's kept one since Paul died, a place to process grief and growth. Tonight she writes to him one final time about this chapter of her life. Paul, 2 years ago, I thought losing Ella meant losing everything. I thought being rejected by my only child meant my life was over, my worth diminished. my future empty. I was wrong. Ella's rejection forced me to ask questions I'd been avoiding. Who am I without someone else's validation? What do I want from the rest of my life? What legacy will I leave? The answers surprised me. I'm stronger than I knew. I want purpose and meaning, not just comfort and convenience. And my legacy isn't just Ella. It's the foundation, the women I've helped, the movement I've started. Ella and I will never have the relationship we had before. That relationship was built on unequal ground, with me always reaching up and her occasionally reaching down. What we have now is better. Two women standing on level ground, choosing each other with clear eyes and open hearts. I've learned that love without respect is hollow, that forgiveness without change is meaningless. That family is something you build through consistent action, not something you inherit and take for granted. I miss you. I wish you could see what I've built from the ashes of that terrible July 4th, but I think somehow you'd be proud that I didn't just survive Ella's rejection. I used it to become someone stronger, someone more complete, someone who knows her own worth. I'm not the woman you married, Paul. I'm not even the woman I was 2 years ago. I'm someone new, forged in the fire of abandonment and redemption. And I finally understand that this was always inside me, waiting for the right circumstances to emerge. Thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. Thank you for the years we had. And thank you for giving me Ella, not because she never hurt me, but because loving her, losing her, and finding her again taught me the most important lesson of all. I am enough, all by myself, regardless of who chooses to love me. Rest well, my love. I'm going to be fine. Always, Amanda. She closes the journal and places it on the shelf beside Paul's old books. Then she walks to the window and looks out at her modest garden, her simple house, her carefully built life. The house Ella once saw is beneath her. The life Amanda once feared was empty. The future she once thought was ending. All of it exactly right. Exactly enough. Exactly what she needed. Amanda touches the chosen family necklace at her throat and smiles. Tomorrow she'll go to the foundation office. She'll lead a support group meeting. She'll help more women discover their worth after abandonment. She'll continue building something that matters. But tonight, she'll simply be grateful. For second chances. For hard-won wisdom. For the daughter who chose to become better and the granddaughter who's learning from both their mistakes. For the life she's built from heartbreak. For the woman she's become through suffering. For the legacy she'll leave behind. Amanda Martin, once forgotten, now unforgettable.